Okay, this is my birth story. Today's January 12th, 2025. I will be 49 tomorrow.
At 1:07
At 1:07
p.m.
tomorrow p.m.
And it was around noon, and I was going to make Ricky a birthday cake because he was living with us and going to Louisiana Tech. It was my due date that day. But I mean, I wasn't feeling like I was going to go into labor. But since Kim went into labor with her, and it took an hour and a half, boom, 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 and she was here. So I thought, second baby comes a little quicker. If I put that cake in the oven and I go into labor, I'm not going to want to wait around till that cake comes out. So I decided to put the cake mix and the eggs and everything in a sack. Got Ricky to put Kim's clothes on her. And so a little after 12, I headed to town. 5-minute drive to their house. They lived right there on 167. And so I pulled up in their driveway. Well, no, halfway to their house.
To whose house?
To my mom, Papa, Monty
Okay.
Margie's house. Because I was going to take the cake there and then cook it in the oven. And if I went into labor, somebody would be there to watch it while I went to the hospital. So halfway to town, about 2.5 miles down the road. Oh my God, I had one of those golly whopper pains, which I had with Kim every 45 seconds for an hour and a half. And I couldn't lift my leg up to put on the brake. It's just a good thing there wasn't no car in front of me that was stopping, because I wouldn't have been able to put on the brakes. So I had another 2.5 minutes to get to their house, and I made it. Pulled in the driveway, put on the brakes, and another one. I had another one, 2.5 minutes, and I'm like, shit, you know. So I knew I couldn't drive across town myself through all them red lights downtown. So, and Monty couldn't drive. So I went inside, and Papa Virgil was inside. I said, come on, you got to drive me to the hospital. And Joe was there with Lisa Michelle. So I left Kim there. Told him I had the stuff for the birthday cake, but I was going to cook it there. So he wouldn't go without her, and she'd walk back over. She worked next door making drapes with this lady a couple of doors down.
You can sit down.
We had to go get Monty D. Drove through town, got to the hospital. It was probably getting close to 12:30, because it's 12:15 when I had the first pain. 12:15 on the way. So walked in the building, in the emergency entrance, and a lady, the nurse, was sitting there on the phone talking, and she's like, just a minute. And I'm like, hey. And she said, just a minute. Well, an orderly comes up, sees me big pregnant, realizes why I'm there. He said, hold on. He goes and gets a wheelchair, puts me in it, whisks me up to the OB, get in there. Of course, now it's getting around 12:35, 12:40, something like that. And I said, you need to call the doctor at Green Clinic right now. Honey, you're fine. You just got here. You're fine. I said, just call him, because I went really quick with my first one. And I said, just call him and let him know I'm over here. You're fine, honey. I heard her go out in the hall. Oh my goodness, she just insisted I call the doctor. She just got here. So here comes this little technician to take blood. So he walks in, and I let him get over there and put his little cart down on the edge of my bed and get close enough to where he's going to take blood. And I just grab his shirt. Go call Dr. Hall right now. So he did this, and went out and said, she's saying that you need to call Dr. Hall. So calls Dr. Hall. Dr. Hall says, I'll be over there in just a minute. He comes over, gets over there. It's getting close to 1 o'clock. Comes in there and checks me and says, get her to the delivery room now. Call the anesthesiologist. And so they rushed me down to the delivery, and he's holding my legs down on the table. Holding my legs down on the table to keep me from having that baby because the anesthesiologist gets there. And I said, I didn't have anything with Kim. I said, you need to
I don't think this is the right
just
one.
let me have this baby.
That doesn't work.
The doctor walks in, and the anesthesiologist walks in, and she says, I thought y'all told me I had an hour. And said, that's another lady down the hall. This one just got here. So she was eating her lunch, and so she knocks me out with that, and I wake up, 107, you're here. 107.
What time did you go into
And-
labor?
12:15. And Bill's daddy.
In the morning?
No, in the
No,
afternoon.
not even an hour before
Not
that
even
she
an
had.
hour. And Bill's daddy.
I didn't know if it was in the morning or in the night.
It was in the middle of the day. Bill was at work, so Bill's daddy calls him to come. He doesn't even get to the hospital. As soon as we get there, Bill's daddy calls Bill at work, and he works halfway between Simsboro and Ruston, and he doesn't even get there in time.
Where was Aunt Kim?
I dropped her off at Monty D's with Joe Sharon, and she was there with Lisa Michelle, was 6 months old.
And that's my birth story.
That's what happened.
49 years ago.
Dropping it.
The end.
The